Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Azure Mitchell.
And I'm Tristan Tamez. It's been 1 year since New Mexico legalized recreational cannabis.
Since then, statewide sales have hit the $300 million mark. Last weekend, cannabis growers and sellers held the Southwest Cannabis Convention here in Las Cruces. There were guest speakers and panels for growers offering tax advice and growing tips.
Industry, quite recently, but as soon as we found out about the convention, we decided to come out here, come check out what was going on, meet some other businesses.
If you missed out, make sure you mark it on your calendars for next year because this looks like an event that is here to stay.
And today was a beautiful day.
It was. How is that weather looking, Jenny?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was beautiful out there today. Right now we have mostly sunny skies and we did have a warm temperature of 81 degrees. Now we do have some winds blowing out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour, which is just a little breeze to kind of help cool it off. Now we did have a humidity of 7%, a dew point reading of 11 degrees this morning, and a barometer of 29.9 inches. Now we did have a high of 85 degrees and a low of 55, but around this time of year we normally reach an average of 82 degrees. Now taking it back 23 years ago, we did have a record high of 94 degrees, and in 1984 we had a low of 35. Now today we didn't receive any precipitation or rainfall, so leaving our yearly rainfall at 0.57 inches. Now that's all I have for your current conditions, but join me later for a look at those national temperatures. Back to the desk.
Longer days for Las Cruces public schools. On Tuesday evening, the Board of Education decided to add 10 minutes to the end of every day for elementary students in the upcoming 2023-2024 school year. Middle school and high school will not be affected. Dr. Wendy Miller-Tomlinson, the Deputy Superintendent of Teaching, says they will adjust the students' transportations accordingly. LCPS families will receive updates via email, and information will be found on the district's website, www.lcps.net. There are also changes going here at New Mexico State University, with the new provost, Chief Academic Officer Dr. Alan Shoho, taking his position earlier this April. The new provost has been making his rounds on campus with an optimistic outlook of what's to come.
The future is very bright here. It's not to say we don't have challenges, but we have a bright future. We have all the ingredients to become a great institution, and I think I'm very optimistic about where we're moving. The future is very bright here.
The new provost was at Preciado Park today for 121st Annual Presidential Pass and Review Ceremony. The ceremony demonstrates NMSU's Army and Air Force ROTC programs, dedication, and hard work from this past year. The special audience attending the event consisted of local leaders and military veterans. Provost Dr. Alan Shoho was the university's representative.
These are our young future military leaders, and I think having had a father who served in the Korean War, it's an honor for me that they would invite me. And
an award ceremony followed the event, with cadets receiving scholarships and recognition for their work in the ROTC program.
A small plant that's found only in southeast New Mexico could be protected by federal law. The Wright's Marsh thistle, native to Eddy, Otero, Chavez, Guadalupe, and Socorro counties, has been put on the threatened species list. That's a step closer to endangered, which would automatically require federal protection. The plant is in trouble because of habitat loss caused by oil and gas development and because of the ongoing drought in New Mexico. For decades, federal policy has tried to save the endangered Mexican gray wolf. Opponents of the wolf are primarily ranchers who are concerned with wolves killing their cattle. Now, New Mexico U.S. Representative Gabe Vasquez is co-sponsoring a bill that would use federal funds to fully compensate ranchers for livestock lost through wolf attacks. Current law compensates ranchers for 75% of the value of cattle killed by the wolves. The Wolf Act would cover 100% of their losses. Cats are cute, cuddly, and fun to be around. However, the population of feral cats is growing enormously. News 22's Maddie Vollmer went around town to find safe ways to effectively take care of these animals.
There are a lot of cats, and the population is growing, especially here on the NMSU campus. and the people who see them the most often are the NMSU groundskeepers. In addition to keeping the campus looking good, they also look after the campus's stray and feral cats.
We actually have a group of wild cats that live on this side of the sheds and stuff, and the guys do take care of them.
Luckily, there are people that help take care of these animals, like the campus grounds. There are also trap, spay, and neuter programs that help control the cat population.
In a few cases, we found homes for friendly cats that had been abandoned or kittens that were born on campus. That's the other thing about trap, neuter, return. It's not just about trapping and fixing cats and put them back. You come across these other animals that are not meant to be out in the, but the feral population.
Michelle Correa is a co-founder at the Cats Meow Adoption Center. It's the only rescue group in Las Cruces dealing with felines only. They find cats forever homes and are a major supporter of the Trap and Release program. She says it's the only humane and effective way to control the feral cat population.
Unless you trap out the entire colony and you stay on top of it, you can't ever trap and kill your way out of these cats overpopulating, because the ones that are left will just make up for lost time to fill in that void.
Correa says instead of adopting a cat, students should get their cat fixed by volunteering at Cats Meow to help solve the problem instead of contributing to it. I'm Maddie Volmer, News 22.
You can tell when a cat has been part of the trap neuter program. The left ear is cut so it's flat and not pointed. Stay tuned, Jenny will be back with your national weather forecast. Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday,
where news matters. Jerry Apodaca, New Mexico's first Hispanic governor in 54 years when he took office, has passed away at 88. Apodaca died on Wednesday at his home in Santa Fe. Jerry Apodaca was elected in January 1st, 1975 at only 40 years old. He paved the way for more minorities to pursue leadership roles and reorganized the state's government by creating a 12 cabinet department we still use today. Jerry's son, Jeff Apodaca, says his father opened doors for Latinos in the 70s and 80s. He is survived by his ex-wife, 3 daughters, and 2 sons. There is a new drug that shows great promise in helping people lose weight. The drug maker Eli Lilly wants the federal government to fast-track approval so it can go on the market. It's called tirzepatide. The FDA approved it last year to help people with type 2 diabetes control blood sugar. The company says people who took the highest dose of the drug for a year and a half not only controlled blood sugar, but also lost weight. In another clinical trial, non-diabetic people who were overweight or obese also lost significant weight with the drug.
And Jenny is next with her national weather forecast.
Thanks, guys. So taking a look at those national temperatures, we can see that it is going to be pretty neutral across the nation today, but specifically focusing in the southwest, we can see that it's going to be 43 in Salt Lake City, 66 in Las Vegas and Phoenix, but taking it on up into Denver, we can see that it is going to be 37, Albuquerque 49, and El Paso 62. Now looking at my next national map, we can see that the southwest is not going to experience very much precipitation, but as we move on into the east, we can see that they're going to be experiencing those severe storms. Now in that Nashville and Charlotte, Atlanta area, we can see they're going to be experiencing a lot of rainfall, but more specifically in that Mississippi, Alabama and Florida area, they're going to see those severe storms with possible flooding, chances of hail, and even possible tornado watch. Now taking a look at my next national map, we can see moving on into Friday that storm is not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay along that eastern coast and it's going to move more north. Taking it back west, we can see that the central part of the nation is going to experience a little bit of that weather, more specifically in central Texas. Now central Texas will have to look out for that hail, up to golf ball sized hail, and those possible tornado warnings. Now that's all I have for your national forecast, but don't go anywhere. Join me after the break for a look at those local temperatures. Welcome back. You're watching News 22. Taking a look at those current temperatures across New Mexico today, we can see that it is pretty warm across the state. We have 72 degrees in Farmington, 76 in Albuquerque, 79 in Socorro, 81 in Las Cruces, and 82 in Deming. Now, as we look into tomorrow, we can see that it is going to cool down just a little bit, but in Santa Fe, Clovis, and Ruidoso, they are going to experience a little bit of rainfall. So it will also be 54 in Ruidoso, Roswell 58, Las Cruces 79, and Deming 83. Now taking a look at those neighboring cities, it'll be 51 tonight in Alamogordo and 73 as a high tomorrow. In Truth or Consequences, it'll be 56 as your low, but 77 as your high with a chance of wind. Now taking a look at Silver City, we can see it's going to be 48 tonight and a little bit windy with a high of 75 tomorrow. Now here in Las Cruces, it'll be 55 with a low, and tomorrow it'll be partly cloudy with a high of 79. Join me later for a look at your 5-day forecast.
Many young musicians hope to make it big, and this past weekend, the Aggies got to listen to some of them. More than 20 groups from across the Southwest played at Cruces. It's a 3-day music festival sponsored by KRWG, the NMSU student-run radio station. Cruces has been held at NMSU for the past 3 decades. It gives students a chance to rock out and young bands the chance to be discovered.
We had other artists playing pianos and playing saxophones. We even had some artists. A girl was playing the cello at one point. It was really cool. And some girls came out with a violin. So a lot of exposure to different creators and instrumentalists.
Crux radio station is student-run and provides many different genres to listen to. You can tune in at 91.5 FM. And Jose Munoz is next with sports.
Thanks, Tristan. Coming up in sports, one Aggie has made it to the major leagues. You can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Munoz and let's talk sports. Big news for Aggie fans. The Orioles are about to put on an Aggie on the field. Baltimore is about to make Joey Ortiz the second Aggie in 2 seasons to join the majors and will be wearing number 65 tomorrow. The pitcher's room will have a familiar face in the former teammate Kyle Bradish, making it 7 Aggies to make it to the MLB. He'll get his first and hopefully not last taste of the show tomorrow night. The NMSU baseball team looks to add to their win column and start a streak on their 3-game homestand. The Aggies recently defeated Ottawa Spirit 12-6 on Tuesday to end a 4-game losing streak and will host Sacramento State starting tomorrow at 6, Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 12. This is the first meeting between the two teams since the 2022 WAC tournament. Kevin Jimenez had a career-high 5 RBIs, including a grand slam, and looks to recreate those stats this weekend. The NMSU softball team is headed to the heart of Texas for their final road series of the season. The Aggies will take on Stephen F. Austin for the second time in program history, with the action starting on Friday at 4 and a doubleheader on Saturday at 10 and 12:30. The Aggies are coming off a series loss last week into UT Arlington and look to turn it around before their final homestand before the WAC tournament against Abilene Christian. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Still ahead on News 22, Jenny will be back to take a look at your 5-day forecast.
Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be a beautiful weekend out there today. Specifically on Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be 82 degrees and then a warm 93 degrees. So make sure to bring your sunscreen and drink lots of water and enjoy your weekend. Now that's all I have. Back to the desk.
And that's all for News 22 Thursday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. More in next week for more news. I'm Tristan Tamez.
I'm Azure Mitchell, and from the whole News 22 team, Tristan, Jenny, Jose, and myself, good night.
news brief en español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, les saluda Andrea Vázquez con las breves de Noticias 22. El primer gobernador demócrata hispano de Nuevo México, Jerry Apodaca, falleció el día miércoles. Apodaca tenía 88 años y fue encontrado en su casa en Santa Fe después de lo que podría haber sido un derrame cerebral, según comenta su hijo Jeff Apodaca. Su legado desde que asumió el cargo en 1975 allanó el camino para que más minorías accedieran a cargos públicos y asumieran funciones de liderazgo en los consejos de administración de las empresas de todo el país. Antes de ser elegido senador estatal en 1966, Apodaca dirigió un negocio de seguros en Las Cruces. Después de eso fue nombrado gobernador el 1 de enero de 1975 a sus 40 años. Esto lo convirtió en el primer gobernador hispano de Nuevo México desde que Octaviano Ambrosio Larrazolo dejó el cargo en 1921. El Departamento de Seguridad Nacional anunció que tomará nuevas medidas para reducir la migración ilegal, ampliando las leyes de protección del procesamiento de los migrantes. La Orden de Salud Pública del Título 42 también llegará a su fin, pero el levantamiento de dicho título no significa que la frontera está abierta. Cuando se levante la orden del Título 42 a las 11:59 p.m. del 11 de mayo, Estados Unidos volverá a usar el Título 8. Las autoridades de inmigración estarán listas para procesar y expulsar rápidamente a las personas que lleguen ilegalmente a la frontera. Los individuos que crucen la frontera sin autorización serán inelegibles para recibir asilo de acuerdo a una nueva regulación. Por todo el estado de Nuevo México se siguen abriendo cada vez más negocios de venta legal de marihuana. El estado cumplió un año como uno de los 21 estados con venta legal de cannabis para adultos. Desde la legalización de cannabis a principios de abril del año, se han realizado ventas por un valor de 300 millones de dólares. No olviden seguirnos en nuestras redes sociales. Que pasen una linda noche.